This episode is brought to you by Chat GPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about Chat GPT work? It's the new way to use Chat GPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give Chat GPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
And it's not even that it's me, Pretty Brown. I love you, girl. It's not that it's me that's singing, that it does something to me about, but it's the message. You know, even if it wasn't me sending the message, it's the message that's in the song. Like, man, if you have never done time, then you would never understand. Like, it's the most... It's humiliating, you know, because number one, some people get caught up and they literally be innocent. So imagine being caught up, be innocent, but your business is blasted everywhere. And until you're proven innocent, and this means even if you go to prison, you could be in prison for 15, 20 years before they see that they messed up on a case. But everybody else don't know that yet. They thinking that you this person that the news has painted you out to be. So, doing time it's like being in the grave. It's like being dead. If people aren't around you, they don't remember you. If you aren't making new memories with somebody, they're not going to think about the old memories that often, because they're busy making new memories with new friends, new family members, new this, new that. And you're in the prison doing time, being forgot about, being passed over. You know, some people don't even contact you. They don't even write you. They don't even visit you. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and give a moment of silence for the ones who aren't here today for whatever reason. Let's give this moment to them. This whole week on the couch is Prison Jail Felon Talk. And this Saturday is the second annual prison reunion. Now, I hope everybody can make it, but if you can't, shout out to the ones that can. I definitely appreciate y'all. But, you know, just since I've been promoting the prison reunion, I've been noticing the different responses. And today, I just want to talk about basically like how people were treated in prison and how it can affect them right now. Not only that is for the ones that have been in the Mabel Bassett, Eddie Warriors group, you know, that group has been up for a while, but I noticed that it's been a lot of controversy behind it this weekend. So I'm going to talk about that this week too. But today, I want to talk about the treatment, because just because someone goes to prison for murder or some type of assault or something that has to do with like a physical altercation or you doing something to somebody else, that doesn't mean that you are bold, you're buff, you're ready to fight everybody every day. It doesn't mean that you want to kill everybody. That might have even happened on an accident. People have killed people on accident. But that doesn't mean that you're the biggest, baddest person on the yard. So some people will get punked, talk shit to. And then some people will just talk shit to you just because you're different. There was a lot of girls on the yard that were very, very different. And I was one of them. I was different. You know, people didn't understand my logic, my method to things. I understood my logic and my method to things, but I didn't expect anybody to, and I didn't really care, you know, but there were other people that cared. And as I was getting, you know, names of people who's going to be at the prison reunion, it dawned on me that not everybody was treated right by everyone. And just because someone is black doesn't mean that every black person is going to be nice to them. And just because somebody is white doesn't mean that every white person is going to accept them. And just because somebody is native, so on and so on. That doesn't mean that you get a pass for however somebody's heart feels towards you or whatever you have about you that they don't like. So, it was one girl told me that people talk shit about her because they felt like she didn't do enough time. I'm like, in case you guys didn't realize this, time is time. Whether you did 4 years or 5 years, that's prison time. Like, you literally did time. You were taken away from your family. You were taken away from your mental state that you were in the world. Because you have to put yourself in a whole new mental state. You have to be a different version of yourself. No matter if you're in D building, C1, D1. It doesn't matter where you are, C2C, C3C. It doesn't matter which part of the yard. You could be in the men's facility, women's facility, whatever facility. When you hit that yard, when you see them barbed wire fences, when you see that the cell locks every time you close the door, when you see you have to lock down, you got to go stand in for canteen. It don't matter what fucking building you in. You still have to get canteen. You still have to do time. You still have to wait on visitation. You still have to wait to get the phone, microwave, count. You still had to. So for anyone that feels like just because you did so much time, or I did 16 years, so your little time ain't, motherfucker, time is time. Ain't nothing little about no motherfucking time. When you have to leave your family and everybody behind, it's nothing little about that. Because some people don't make it. Some people will literally kill themselves before they step foot behind them gates, or before they see them barbed wire fences. Some people will kill themselves before they do that. So if somebody is brave enough to do the time, it's nothing that you or anyone should be able to say. You can't tell somebody how they felt during the experience, what they went through. And some of them women went through hell. I was one of them. And it was, like I said, just because you're different, just because you don't want to give your canteen away, or just because you don't want to allow somebody to bully you, just because you smile too much. Somebody might be angry that you get visitation and they don't. They might even get angry that, because there's people that have gotten visitation, and after they came back from visitation, they're like, man, I can't stand my bitch ass motherfucking family. Every time they come, it's always some bullshit. And they didn't even bring enough change. I only had like 6 snacks and Somebody will see you and hear you saying that shit, and I'd be like, bitch, fuck you. I'm ready to fight you because, bitch, I don't get no motherfucking visits. Bitch, I ain't had no extra fucking snacks. Now they ready to fight. They will hate you, not like you, dislike you for whatever reason. And then you'll find yourself fighting. You'll find yourself arguing. And sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it might be because you're with their ex. Now, you just hit the yard. You don't know that this girl had an ex. Or even for the men, you don't know that this man had an ex. You just know that you attracted to this person. Y'all started talking, whatever. It went on further than that. And then now, the ex-girlfriend, that they ain't been together in 2 months, but now the ex-girlfriend is coming around fighting you. Now you got to fight the ex-girlfriend. It's so many different reasons why women had it bad in prison. If somebody felt like you talked too much, if somebody felt like you looked too much. So I don't blame some of the ones who don't want to come to the prison reunion. I don't blame you. But I always try to remember, for myself, I remember this. I put myself in the shoes of everyone. I remember what it felt like when I signed for my time. I remember what it felt like when I went to jail, when I had to take my mugshot. I remember what it felt like in each moment. And then I remembered that I had to put on a little bit of an extraness about myself in order to survive. So with that being said, if we have to put on this extra mask to be someone else to survive a yard that we weren't even prepared for, then that means that maybe this person that treated you like that genuinely didn't want to treat you like that. Maybe that's not the person that they genuinely was, but it was the person that they had to present themselves as in order to survive the penitentiary. And it really may not have been anything against you ever. And I bet if you spoke to them now, they would probably apologize like, wow, I had no idea that I was that bad to you. Because sometimes when people have put on a facade to be something or someone that they're not in order to survive, they don't really remember those things that they did with that mask on. Because they also had a defense mechanism up, and it was defending what was happening because it didn't want them to remember the bad things so you can have resentment and not be able to dig yourself out of a depression hole. So now, you like, is this me or is this not? Is this... Some of us get out of prison and we don't find ourselves for years. And then when we find ourselves, some of us would even race back to the people who we remember that we disrespected, hurt, or made feel some type of way. And we're doing everything we can to find them, to apologize to them. Like, yo, that was not who I was in prison. Like, that's not the person that I am now. You know, and if you would allow me to, you know, I would like to, you know, maybe I can't take back the things, the trauma that I put on you or the things that I put in your head, but maybe, you know, we can look forward to a mutual friendship now, you know, something. You know, because 90% of those women got out and had kids. They're not even the same person that they was when they was locked up. Some of them were studs. Right now, they full-blown motherfucking women with booty shorts on and smoking a cigarette. They not that same stud that was a bully on the yard. Now, they fragile and frail and looking... No, that sounded funny. No, that's not what I mean, though. I mean, like, now they not that same buff stud anymore. They're like a skinny chick, like, that want to get digged down. So, literally, some people literally get out and they change it entirely who they are. So, every feeling that you felt in prison is completely valid. But if you give it an opportunity to be fixed, you may not feel those feelings that you felt anymore. And it may do something for your mental, for your heart, for your relief, for just everything. You know, because once I got out and I realized that some of the people that talked the most shit to me, you know, are some of the main people that keep in touch with me right now. You know, I realize now, knowing them, rather than knowing them on the yard, they're not who they was on the yard out here now. And they was pretty fucking mad, you know. And I honestly would have never imagined that we would be friends. But knowing that this is my friend and we literally talk to each other, look out for each other, you know, check on each other, I'm just like, people change. People literally have put on facades so much that we had no choice but to believe that that's who they was, because that's who they made a believer out of us. But we should also allow people to be the changed version of them when they finally find themselves. A lot of us went to prison at a young age. Like, none of us went there like some of us did as some grown-ass adults, but a lot of us went there at a young age, so we were still learning who we was in the midst of getting locked up and going to prison. And then realizing that you have to be somebody else and just have this facade on, because if you don't, it's a possibility that you may get ran over, your canteen might get taken, you might get beat up every day, punked, whatever, and nobody wants that. So sometimes people, they end up fighting every day on the yard, because if they don't, then they're going to end up regretting it. There's so many men and women that are out here in the world right now and are hurt by some of the things that was done and said to them in prison. And contrary to what you may believe, it still affects some of the men and women right now that were locked up. To the point where some of them don't even want to be around anyone that they knew that did them like that was locked up. If they see them in Walmart, they going the other fucking way. They don't even want to speak to you. They don't even want you to be like, I recognize you. Some of them don't even want that opportunity for the other person to ask for forgiveness. They just want to feel how they feel and keep it fucking pushing. But some of those ladies and men that were in prison that were energy suckers, some of them literally aren't like that anymore. Some of them, yeah, they're definitely still like that. But you'll know. You'll know the ones that have changed. You'll know the ones who have grown. And I'm proud of some of these men and women, even the ones that I didn't do time with, hearing the stories, seeing the stories of these men and women that have been out and doing their motherfucking thing, having jobs, kids, taking care of business. And my heart goes out to every one of you who have lost a parent since they've been out. Tomorrow, Little Bit is going to be on the couch. And she just recently lost her mom. So it's hard, because you already lost this time with your family. That time that could never get, you can never get it back. So the nerve of anybody to say, oh, if you done 3 years or 2 years or 4 years, that ain't doing time. I did time because I did 8. I did 15. I did this. I did that. Time is time. Time was taken away from most of these men and women from being away from their family. They was taken away from their family. And some of them got out, and that family member is now dead. That same time that you said didn't mean nothing, it was taken away from them, and it means everything, because they don't have those 2, 3, 4, 5 years with their mom, dad, brother, sister, kids anymore. That time is now gone, and it can never be given back. So time, if you've done 6 months in prison, time is time. You can never get time back, ever. Ever. Never. And a lot of times when people ask for, like, when they say, man, if I could get one wish, I ask to go back, and everybody always want to go back, because you can't get that time back. So all the things that happen to some of the people, all the things that we went through on the yard, you can't get back those moments that you made someone feel bad, that you disrespected someone, drugged someone, fought someone every day, made someone feel irrelevant every day. You can't get that back, but what you can do is apologize for the things that you did in the past. And you can make it right for the future, if they want to make it right, because some people just don't. Some people would rather never see you again than to ever remember, just by looking at you, the things that you put them through. Because some of these men and women took other men and women through hell when they was in prison. For whatever reason, they put them through a motherfucking... Man, when I say they took them through the ringer, for no reason. And now, some of these people don't want to see y'all. They don't want those memories brought up. And they don't want there to be a possibility that you could be the same person that you was in prison. But I want to encourage you guys and tell you that 90% of those men and women that were in prison acting like that, they are not like that right now. They're so humble. They don't want to go back to prison. They doing everything they can to stay out. They taking care of their kids. Some of them have careers right now. Some of them got their literal own businesses. Some of them is doing so many big things. Man, and I'm so proud of y'all. And even the ones that still don't want to be around, I'm proud of y'all too. You know, and I understand it. I get it. And honestly, if I didn't have the couch, I don't know if I would have ever, been cool or reached out, or I don't know. But I'm thankful for the couch and my couch potatoes, because you literally have helped me open my heart so much more than what it used to be. And it's been open before and all the time, but it hasn't been open as much as it is since I started the couch. Facts. And I'm appreciative of that. So, people do change, but sometimes that trauma is so traumatic, it's hard to shake. And just like if you, was assaulted by someone in your family, it would be hard to be around them, even if they apologize, even if they said they did counseling. It would be hard to be around them, because it's like, bitch, you did this to me. Motherfucker. Every time I see a face, I think about it. So I get it. I get that it's hard to be around anyone who has hurt you, harmed you, disrespected you, or did anything to you on the yard. I get that. But again, I want to encourage you and let you know that 90% of those men and women are changed. They are. And prison, even if you feel like you want to be the most authentic person on the yard, prison will literally make you realize that you have to wear a mask, an additional mask, because if you don't fake it till you make it, if you don't do the things that you need to do to get by in prison, you can lose your mind, you can lose yourself, you can end up institutionalized and never come out of that. You can literally lose yourself and never learn who you are ever. So you have to be this extra version of you, this extra strong version of you. You have to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't make it. You got to learn to talk shit. You got to talk shit back. Somebody hit you, you got to hit them back. If somebody calls you out, you got to answer the call. You can't be pussy. Even if your old self was pussy, this new version of you, this new mask that you're putting on, this new person that you're being, that person can't be pussy. And you know that. So with every strength, every memory of a fight that you've seen, you utilize that and you perfect this new version of yourself. That way, by the time you about to leave prison, they like, hey, you can't fuck with this person. So-and-so was beating everybody up on the yard. They might have started off like, now they could fight. And there was women that started on the yard that couldn't fight. And now people be like, man, they got hands now. Because that version of you that you had to be, you had to perfect it. And perfecting it might mean that you wasn't able to fight at first. But by the time that prison sentence was over, you was able to fight 5-6 people at the same time. And sometimes when you have perfected that version of you on the yard, it is hard to get that mask off. You remember how Jim Carrey, when he played Mask, it was hard to get that mask off? When you first get out of prison, it's hard to take that mask off until you actually find who you genuinely are. And when you do, and you realize all the fucked up things you did to people and said, you're going to be like, oh my God, that was me? You're not going to believe some of the stories that people tell you about you. And it's almost going to be like a blackout. You're not going to remember. It's almost going to be like, are you sure that was me? Because this new version of yourself that you actually have supposed to been before you even went to prison, this is the person that you should have been. But that person that you finally found that you are, now you like, wait a minute. I was like that? I don't really remember. This new version of yourself is beautiful. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. And hopefully, maybe if you remember that anyone that you ever hurt, harmed, talked shit to, maybe fought for no reason, you know what you did for no reason on the yard. Maybe reach out to them because maybe they still holding it in, or maybe it still bothers them, or maybe they don't want to be around anything that has to do with anything like a prison reunion or anything like that because of some of the things that you may have did to them. Y'all better start remembering some of the things that you did. Reach out. Make it right. Are you such a new version of yourself that you can't or that you can? Can you make it right? Will you make it right? It's the Couch Chronicles where there ain't no fucking limits. I do this every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday from 8 Central Time and every Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 a.m. Central Time. I'll be back on the couch tomorrow at 8 with my girl Little Bit. Can't wait to have her. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. It's the Couch Chronicles where there ain't no fucking limits.